Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We're going to get started in approximately 1 minute. If you're stoked for today, let us know in the chat. We're excited. What are you hoping for from today? What were you hoping to get from today's session? You're giving us obviously your most valuable time. We want to make sure we leverage it for you, give you exactly what you're hoping for. We're excited about it. It's going to be great. Beautiful. Adrian said it was close enough. I'll take it. I'll take it. Welcome back to our WAVV Accelerator. This is session number 2. If you missed session number 1, you can watch the replay. We kind of went through some of the money math equation, define, design, do, building out your framework for success. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about actually your options, what you're saying on the call, how to handle it. Richard's got some really, really good insight for you. Just wanted to introduce Richard really quick. We've been working together now for how long, Sarge? 7, 8 years, which is wow, so crazy. That's pretty amazing. So Richard was running a marketing agency when I first met him in our other company, Prospecting on Demand. Richard is a incredible coach and teacher. He has unbelievable insights. He's worked with more than 20 plus sales teams and helping them develop 6, 7, and even 8-figure strategies for SDR work, how to do calling, prospecting strategies, all of the insights that you're looking for to maximize your sales abilities within WAVV. And so what we've done is we've brought Richard in to talk about his skill set in order to support you. And that's what you can expect as we go along. You'll see a lot of myself. You'll see a lot of Richard. You also see our other partner, Brian, who's going to be doing the live calling for you next week. Sarge sold his business, his marketing agency, for a nice pretty penny a few years ago. Took a little time off, and then he came back to come support and coach. And that's what he's here for, and that's what we're here for, to serve and help. Sarge, I'll let you take it away. Guys, you're in for a real treat. If you're ready to rock and roll today, drop a 7 in the chat. Let us know. We're excited about it. Sarge, floor is yours, my guy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. And also thank you to the WAVV team as well. As we've been working through this and even getting through session 1 as well, we've been hearing the positive feedback and everything else. So definitely let us know the questions you have and so forth so we can help you out with this, right? The ultimate goal is to serve you. So as we move forward, I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from this is it was great to run an agency, get that going. But as we've coached thousands of people, right, even over the past decade, going on almost 12 years now of doing this, just seeing everything happening, ultimately it's what you guys need from this to move forward and so forth. So today's topic, I'm about to share my screen in just a second. We want to make sure that you went through your define, design, do, you went through the numbers that it takes and so forth, right? We're going to jump into recap. I'm going to share my screen in just a second. I want you playing full out. So the people dropping the 7s, thank you for doing it. We got one James Madison dropping a 9. We don't know who that is, which is fun, right? I thought everyone was going to be James Madison. So seeing everyone's names is awesome. But let's just play through this. Let's play full out, ask the questions. Let's knock it out. Let me share my screen and we'll get going. And of course, we'll share the document afterwards as well. Yeah, you might have to right click and hit rename on there, and then that should be good. So let me share my screen. See my screen. Let me know. Just drop a yes in the chat. We'll take it from there. And at any point, by the way, I hope you understand the way that I like to run things on here is very much in depth. So we have all these topics. It is a lot of information in here. So as we go through this and so forth, there is a lot of information, but we will stop and take time to ask questions and so forth. So ask questions in the chat. If we have to go deeper, we'll probably bring you up as a panelist so you can talk through it and so forth. Our goal is to ultimately serve you though. So take this time while you're here because it's your most valuable asset that you have so we can actually go through and knock this out. The biggest thing that I've learned about this session too, with everything that we're talking about, is when it comes to appointment setting and so forth, right? Everyone knows that the second you set an appointment, that you're just going to there, and everyone feels like they're just going to get sold to. So everyone kind of like looks at the appointment like, I don't know if I really want to show because they're just going to ask me a couple questions. They're going to interrogate me. They're doing this right on there, and we don't want people to feel that way, right? We actually want to provide value and help them understand. So the biggest thing is you have to sell the call before you sell on the call. Right? You have to be able to provide value up front. And so a question for everyone, right? I did drop this at the beginning about like location, what you're offering, but what's the value that you're providing to people either on and before the call? Drop that in the chat for me really quick. What's the actual value that you're providing for them, even before the call? Bonus points before the call, but if it's during the call, right? What are you providing? Drop that in the chat for us. Let's understand what value we're actually providing for people. And then we'll get into the goals and start knocking this out. Education, Stephanie, on what? Education for what? Knowledge for what? Adrian, we help automate their trading. That's pretty cool. Dang it, and it's the James Madison, by the way. No, it's Fine, right? We'll figure it out on there. What's up, Cassie, by the way? See you. Haley as well. Cassie and Haley, anytime you guys ever need to stop, raise your hand, jump in, feel free to, right? Even the Wave team. So don't feel like, you have to wait till the end or anything else. We're definitely here to do this. Financial soundness. There we go. Right? And what they're going to get out of that call. So we definitely want to get that. Someone to listen, Eric, that's really important, by the way, especially nowadays. Perfect. There we go. What else? What are other things that you're providing value for, either before or during the call? Peace of mind. Jason, is that what everyone wants in life? Is peace of mind as we move through this? Life insurance for family protection. There we go, Carol. Sweet. Okay, so it's good because I'll tell you right now, keep dropping them. And by the way, so we're not stopping with it. I'm going to keep moving forward, but I see the chat. I have it open. So keep dropping this in. Any questions you also have. The biggest thing that I've realized is I feel like how do you help them? And we're going to cover this right now. So we'll get into it right now. But what's the biggest thing at providing value? And here's the thing that I want people that you're booking appointments with. As soon as you get appointments booked, either before or during this, I want them walking away saying, I can't wait to talk to Carol. I can't wait to talk to Jason about this. I can't wait to talk to Michael, Eric, Stephanie, James Madison, right? I can't wait to talk with them. And so they're actually intrigued and ready to go versus I booked an appointment and I don't know what's going to happen on that call. We don't want those scenarios, right? And so that's the goal today to help you out with that. And I'll actually share a little bit more about today's session. Mike also dropped in educating, downsizing, move management, and their family member. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to open these up one at a time as we move forward. If you ever need it, and I'll go a little bit bigger on here just so you have that as well. Just so if you need to read it bigger, always ask for accommodations. We're good. The biggest thing about goal today is knowing how to turn that dial into booked appointments that actually show up with one specific behavior change that you can run today. So we want to go from conversations to appointments. Now, question, let's go scale 1 to 10. How are you guys doing from the conversation you're having to booked appointments? One being like it's a low conversion rate. So I'll go 1 equals low and 10 equals high on here. What's everyone's conversion rate on there? Conversion rate being like if I talk to 10 people, out of those 10 people, how many of those 10 people are converting into an appointment? And that's, by the way, half the battle. And I'm probably going to give you a little spoiler as well. But you really want to take those conversation and appointments to further engage them as well. Okay, so we're getting lows right now. We got twos, we got threes, we got a 3 and a 4. Surprised we haven't had someone that's like saying 3.5 or something, like some half number on there. Depends on lead source is really important. So kudos for that, Eric. 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10. Seems like they generalized webinar. Specific questions about Wave Dollar. Who can speak about that? So yeah, that's definitely Haley and Cassie can definitely help you out with that as well and get you in there for that. So we can help you out with Wave Dollar and so forth. You might be able to drop your questions, or they'll also reply in the chat to help you out with those more technical questions. So we can definitely get that going for you as well. Okay, so now understanding where we're at with this 5, but very high no-show rate at 80%, which, Sean, you jump to the next part as well, is it's great that we can book these calls, right? But then we have to get them to show up. And that was actually the next question is, okay, so you have an appointment booking ratio, but then once you get them booked, how many actually show up is probably the biggest thing, right? That we want to understand of how we do that. Yeah, Michael, they'll jump in the chat on there. They'll reply to help you out. Perfect. Q&A section is at the bottom, by the way. So if you guys see where it says like mute, unmute, all that stuff, right? I don't know if you guys have that feature. There's a chat, there's a Q&A feature, I believe, as well. So you can get that going. It might be under more for you, unless it pops up at the bottom. It says Q&A. So you might be able to help out with that as well. So they can help you out. Cool. Okay, so now that we have the numbers, we have the understanding and so forth. How many dials does it take? How many appointments on there? The second we get an appointment book, we have to know what value we're providing up front. Now, I'm going to drop a word in, and you guys just tell me yes or no. So I'll drop it in the chat. When it comes to assets, so let's say this is what's happening, and then we'll go into this. You book an appointment, so I'll put that in. How many of you provide an asset or like what we used to call back in the day like a leave behind, and just put yes or no in there? Just to give me an understanding about what we're doing. So you book the appointment. Are you sending them more information before the appointment, or do they have to wait? Yes or no? Paul, you dropped a 1. I don't know if the 1 was for the previous one, is what I'm going to say. Eric said no. Paul said yes. No, we're actually 50-50 right now. Someone's going to break that in just a second. Oh, we're still 50-50? Pre-call video, yes. Okay, so you have a pre-call video, which is exactly one of the things that we like to say. Okay, so I'm going to draw my screen. I do want to take a second just because I'm seeing we're going 50-50. So let me draw, and I'm not saying I'm the best drawer, by the way, so you're not going to get Picasso from me. You have a conversation, right? You go to book that appointment. And then here's the biggest thing, and we'll actually cover timing in just a second, so I won't ruin that. You book the appointment, then there's this time in between that appointment and the actual call that you're going to have. So I'll just call the sales call, right? You can call discovery call, whatever you want. There's a time in between. The question on there is just a matter of, are we right here providing an asset for them or something to leave behind? Right? Someone mentioned that they do a pre-call video and so forth. I'm going to tell you right now that will also increase your show up rates if you give them something that I call it chew on. It's kind of like the internal language, right? If you went more professional, something that they can actually engage with so that they understand what they're coming into, right? And so it's not supposed to scare them off or anything else. It's supposed to say, like, okay, cool. Now I know what the topic is about and I'm more educated. So we have a further conversation on there. The other thing is, as I send out the asset to them, what I've also realized is the people that engage with the asset, being like they actually read the document I sent them or watch the video, so they're more well informed, means that they're going to play more full out. Or they might say, "Oh, I just didn't have time to watch your video. I didn't have time to read through this. I'm too busy a person." I now know going in what type of person or style they are. Is everyone okay with that so far? Yeah. Okay. So Eric, yeah, if you can add something, that's going to help with your show up rates because you guys talked about this stuff on there. You guys are dropping yes is perfect. If you can add some sort of asset to send to them, I have a pre-written email and even a landing page of an asset being like, "Hey, congrats on booking your call. This is what we'll be covering on the call, and this is more information you have." I also like to have like a frequently asked questions or something on there of the top questions that get asked just so that they know the level that we're playing at. So if you're able to do that and provide further education, you're going to keep them moving forward. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, perfect. If you ever have any questions at any point, definitely jump in there. We can do that. If you have questions about this topic, we can handle on the call. If it's topics that you need more stuff with, Cassie and Haley and the Wave team can definitely help you out and get you in there with the Q&A feature. We can go through there. I'm going to monitor the chat, so if it is QA related towards this, I probably won't see that. I have the chat pulled up with all the yeses. Okay, so let's continue. Let me erase what I have on there. Now you guys see how good of a drawer I am, right? That's as good as it gets for me, by the way. So if you guys are expecting any more from the drawing standpoint, probably not going to happen. Okay, so I want you instead, you can drop a one in the chat because we just used one a little bit ago. How many of you used the DBR, the database reactivation, where you actually sent out this message, or you did your own message, and I'll drop in the chat for you as well. You sent this out to at least, let's say, 20 or 30 people or more. I'll drop in the DBR just in case you need it from Tuesday's meeting, from Tuesday's session accelerator. But drop a one in the chat. How many of you use that from there? James Madison, of course, would use that. That's what's up. Sorry, that's what the name it says on there, as you can see for that. Unless you see a different name and you see your own name. That's what we see. Raphael, there we go. Okay, how many dials on there? So now, and you shouldn't drop a one first, so you can still drop a one. But then another question, how many dials did you do since our last session? Right? Drop the number in the chat. We do, but not that frequently. There we go. I would definitely see. Oh, you're dropping your name in as well. Okay. The clave, there we go. 350 dials, that's what I'm talking about. A lot, there we go. 57, 600. Oof, I love it. I love hearing the activity in dials, by the way. So that's how many dials you did since our last session. Freaking awesome. Keep it up. There we go. We're getting the reps in. We're getting stuff in there. And out of those, and I saw the numbers out of 1 through 10, how many are booking appointments since then? How many appointments? So you can drop like A for appointments and number, right? So I'll just do this, A, and then the number for the appointments. 2 appointments, there we go. I could tell the difference. A1, there we go. Steak sauce, I'll take it. You booked one. Never mind, just kidding. With you, star. There we go. Emmett, you booked two. There we go. A6, A5. There we go. Okay, so the thing that I love about this, and this is what Wave told us as well, you guys are playing full out. Our goal is to get into the top. I don't remember if it was 1 or 3% of Wave users, 5%. But I want you guys to be playing full out with what you're showing right now. Sean getting three, Pauline got one, Waverly got five. There we go. Carol got six, Star got one. There we go. Okay, so we're getting appointments. We're doing the work. By the way, the biggest thing that I've always told every single person we've ever talked to is the DBR that you see on the screen right here, and the one that I did drop in the chat. This isn't a one-time deal. This isn't you just do it one time and you never touch it again, right? This is something that you should do often with people to in order to engage with them. Now, my biggest thing is that if you get a new contact, you upload it into your CRM, you dial through Wave and so forth, you should have a sequence set up so you can absolutely understand where this is. And at some point, I would add this in here because if you notice, I'm actually going to jump to the second line for just a second. We connected back and you can go a month, a week, a couple days ago, 7 days, right? And this is what you wanted. Our DBR, for full disclosure, the one that we do is, hey, we talked 30 days ago, and we also have another one just like this 90 days ago. And what I like to say in ours is basically this messaging. So I'm just going to like say it out loud is, hey, we talked 90 days ago. You were trying to achieve this goal. Now, one of two things happened. You either nailed that goal, and I would love to hear about it. Like, what did it take to nail that goal? Or you are still stuck in the same a space that you were last time, right? And it's just not working out. And if I could add more context to what that is, I will. I would love to hear from you. I'm telling you right now, that DBR is already scheduled, pre-scheduled, right? The second like they haven't signed up with us, if they signed up, the DBR goes away, right? Like in workflows and so forth and automations. But almost every single time, those messages get responses back from people. Because the biggest thing, and I hope you guys believe this, right? And everyone has different opinions, and I get that. When we're working through this, I'm going to reach out to people until they buy or say some bad word to me or stop or anything else. 100% compliant, by the way, so I'm not doing anything crazy. But the reason I'm reaching out to them is ultimately to serve and to help them. As long as I'm reaching out, I know either are they good and they're solid and they don't need us, let us know, right? And we'll move on. Or do they still have that need and we still want to help them? The biggest thing as well, and do you guys, I might be dating myself right here. What I mean by dating is the actual age. Do you guys remember how many licks it takes for a lollipop? Like how long ago that was? Drop a yes in the chat if you remember that. No, if you're younger that. But there's like how many licks to get a lollipop, right? Okay, James Madison, what's up? Pauline, there we go. According to the owl, there we go, three. Yeah, okay, way more than three. So the owl lied to us, right? Okay, so you guys remember that, right? My question for you is instead of the licks on a lollipop, how many follow-ups to get that appointment, right? Think about that. Does every single time the first person you call or the first time you've ever reached out to, do they always book with you right away? Think about that. Till it is done. Absolutely. Right. And so that's the biggest thing that I've learned from this whole entire thing when it comes to appointments and so forth, is a lot of people said, hey, I've done $100, $600, $557, whatever it is. And those people haven't done that. That's just how much you're reaching out to them, but it's going to take several touch points on there, right? The hardest part isn't like 12 to 13 get a sale. Some industries, Stephanie, it is. And it doesn't mean 12 to 13 dials. I would say 12 to 13 touch points, which, by the way, adding an asset or sending to someone that asset and so forth is a touch point as well. And by the way, you're going to see that there's a lot of various industries in here. So everyone's going to have different rates in terms of like conversion rates, book rates, and so forth, or how long it takes. Some of us are in tougher industries, and some of us are in what people call blue oceans, where like no one's calling them, right? And so those are things to think about as well as we move forward. Okay, let's keep pushing forward. By the way, I just want to know, a lot of you I feel like has been on session. So if you were here in the last session, just drop a Tuesday, right? If you are brand new, this is your very first session, just drop new in the chat. And then let's get going with this, right? What's up, Tuesdays? That's what's up. You guys are playing full out. Adrian, welcome new. Jason, welcome new as well. Paul, Caroline, there we go. Carol, I mean. Start Tuesdays. Awesome. Any wins? I'm going to push forward, but if you have any wins, drop in the chat from doing the Define Design Do. Don, welcome. There we go. So I want to make sure that you have that. If there's any wins or takeaways, I love to cover that every single session that we do. So you'll always see that at the top of our stuff. The last thing I'm going to leave with you, and then we're going to jump into golden rule and keep pushing forward on here. You can learn as much as you want, but if you learn and you don't put into action, you're not actually doing the work, you're actually skipping. I would say at least half of the learning comes from actually doing this. So the stuff you're going to learn today, even like the DBR that we have from last session that I dropped in again, right? in the chat. I want you actually doing the work, because then you're going to start coming back to these sessions and then giving us the insights of what's working and what's not for you, so that we can help coach you, so we can help move you forward, so we can keep knocking the stuff out. If that's fair, drop a yes in the chat if that is fair. I want you learning, but also doing. The last thing I'll share with you in the CS of the chat, there we go. The biggest thing is a time delay between something. So if you learn something now, I want you in future the set, if you can, set an hour after this call for you actually to go take the work. I know you guys did it live on the call last time, which was amazing. But I want you taking the time. So as soon as we're done with this session, I want you going to take the action as fast as possible. Because that it's called an iteration loop or flywheel. The faster you do stuff and the faster you get feedback and so forth, you're going to get better versus, hey, I did stuff for a week and I don't know if I'm right or wrong. It's going to take a while. So I want you dropping that stuff in there, engaging with us and moving forward and knocking it out. We see the yeses in the chat. We're good to go. So let's jump into the golden rule and why appointments die. So we talked about this at the very top. You have to sell the call before you even jump on to sell on the call. Every conversation, and this is what we're talking about, touch points. So someone mentioned, hey, it doesn't take 12 to 13 touch points, right? Above, right? Stephanie, right? Mentioned that to get a sale. Everyone has different touch points and follow-ups. But every conversation, which each one of these, a dial, text, a follow-up, and so forth, on there have a touch point. So it's going to take multiple ones to get in front of people, as most of you are already well aware of. But I just want to make sure that's very clear. They all have one job though, is to get on, and we say 15-minute conversation. I want to be more of a quick conversation, unless you're sitting there saying, hey, our first call is actually gonna be 60 minutes. Let them know what yeah, not calls, touches, right? Let them know on there what can they expect from you, and then even in that 15-minute conversation, or if it's 30, so change the minutes. It doesn't have to be 15. We're not saying this is gospel and you have to only do 15 minutes. If yours is 20, 30 minutes, let them know what to expect, but then also give them context of what they can do. Like, for instance, most of you don't go watch movies right on there and say, I've never seen a trailer and I don't know what the movie's about, but I'm going to go watch it. You usually have a trailer, you have an understanding, or you have an idea of what it is. You have to do the same with the people that are jumping on the calls or booking appointments with you as well. You want them to know with everything that's happening, right? And the biggest thing on here is that if you can do that and have set better expectations of what's going to happen, you're going to do this. And one of my not famous, one of my favorite phrases on here, you can't sell someone who no shows you. Now, I know there's someone that's going to be in the chat that's going to jump on like, well, guess what? You can actually do this, this, or that. But if you actually never have a conversation with people, right, you're never going to be able to sell them. So you have to get them to show up and be engaged and go through there, right? I'm going to go a little off script for just a second. If you were to do social media and videos and so forth, the most important thing for your stuff is watch time and engagement rate. So that's why you have to have this thing called a hook up front, which I'm not going to bore you guys with, right? But you have to be able to have engaging stuff. The hardest part that I see is that we actually, in Prospect on Demand, will audit people's sales calls and even their booking calls. The biggest thing that I've realized that's not going to be listed here, so I'm going to say this out loud, is people's energy and excitement on that call. Some people, honestly, we tell them the truth, they sound boring. They sound like they've been calling and they're exhausted all day long. Now, can this happen? Yes, what I'm about to say. Do I want it to happen for you? No. Have I had it happen to me several times? But, and I'm not looking for anyone to like admit, or we're not going to go down the story route. But like, have you ever been cussed out and everything else on a call, or told to F off or anything else? That's not fun. That person's having a bad day. We don't know what's going on in their life, which sucks, right? That's happening. But here's the thing, your very next call does not know that that happened, but do you bring that on to the next call as well? And we've seen that for some people. Like, one of our clients were going through this that we coached, and they just sounded not distraught, but they just sound like angry and pissed off. And that call, that person was just like, did I do something wrong? They didn't say that out loud, but you can definitely tell like they were kind of like nervous and shy. So you have to be able to bring the energy and the excitement to each call as you move forward. If you have to go take a break or walk or do anything else, I've ran cold call sales teams before, and even like warm call and inbound and everything else. I can run some pretty big teams. Sometimes we'll just take the team out for a walk or go play catch outside with like a tennis ball or something, right? Just to get them out of their element. Please do that if you're going through those scenarios of just like you're going through the grind and you need a little break or something. Find something that can help you out as well. Is everyone okay with that? If we're good, can you just drop a good in the chat? A little off script for you guys. Just want to help you out with that though. Everyone good? Okay, perfect. If you have any questions at any time, drop them in. You don't have to wait for me to ask if there's any questions. I'll see it pop up and then I'll get to it when we go there. Okay, so now let's go through the scenarios, right? You got someone interested, you had a decent conversation with them, right? Our goal for conversations is gather context and ask questions without interrogating them, right? So we definitely want to do, we don't want to interrogate them and be like, next question, right? But you just want to understand. One thing that also people miss out, I don't think I have it written down here, is that when you're gathering those insights, I want to give confirmation value to people. So, like, as you're working through saying, hey, reaching out to you for XYZ, give me some context. And when they're showing interest and you're asking questions and they're saying, well, yeah, actually, this is happening. Okay, perfect. That's what we're looking for and so forth. A lot of people on calls that we've heard before go, uh-huh, yep, next question. Yep, uh-huh, next question. Versus, yeah, okay, perfect. We can definitely help you out with that. So I want to make sure that you guys are confirming their value, which I don't think I have it listed right here, as you're going through these conversations. And guess what? It's called a conversation. It's a two-way street. Not just you're going to interrogate them with questions, ask them book a time, and then they can't wait to get off with you. Because then they're just going to ghost you, and they're just going to show up cold, disengaged, and not be ready for this. So you want to make sure. So remember, I come from a marketing background, and in marketing, we'll basically say, hey, these are the ads that we built for you. I kind of our selling point, right? So I'll give you the example. We're going to lay out three different angles and build them live on the call with you and make sure they're a good fit. And ultimately, by the end of the call, we at least want to choose one of the angles, if not all of them, that you would want to run for your paid ads campaign. So we're going to build them live on the call. You can take them and run with them. We'll build them out for you as well. And to show you what we can do. Have you ever done that before? And they're like, oh, no, we've never done that. And sometimes they have. And we just talk through that and we says, great. Well, you're definitely a good fit for what we're doing. And we're super excited to jump on this call in order to help you out. And they're like, awesome, can't wait. Because we're doing something live on the call. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with this, like table side where they do pasta, they cut your fish, they make guacamole in Florida, right? It's for Fort Lauderdale. There's a restaurant that does that, but it's almost a tableside service that we do for our selling, is what we call it. Just make sure that they're walking through with value. Is everyone okay with this? We're good so far? Drop a yes if we're good. Paul, you have a question. You raised your hand, which is totally fine. Go for it, Paul. Oh, sorry. Drop in the chat for that, Paul. You raised your hand for a second and disappeared. And then if needed, we can pull you up as well. So drop it in and we can come back to that as well. Feel free to drop your questions in there. Okay. One thing that I don't know if you guys ever heard about this. You guys might have a different way. It's called the hot stove method. And so I'll go back to my drawing in just a second. But let's say that, okay, we're on a Thursday. Mistake. Oh, got you. Perfect. I was thinking this is hard in insurance industry for table live demo. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Absolutely. Yeah, so that's the thing is find out what your table side is for there so that they can understand what do they need and not and so forth, right, as you move forward. Okay. Let me explain the hot stove method to you guys just to help out. Let me do this just so we have some space down here. I'm going to draw it closer to the bottom, but not too close, just in case it cuts off for anyone. We are Thursday, right? Now, my biggest thing, let's actually have some fun with this. I know everyone's on different time zones, but we are at Thursday anywhere between 11:30 to like 3:30 right now. When's your next available appointment that you can book? If you were to call someone right now, when's the next time you could actually book someone for a call? Drop that in the chat. Thursday right now. I just said, I typed in my name, Thursday right now. When's the next time? Tomorrow, what time, Paul? Thursday, when's the next time? Later today, what time later today? Or Friday? Yeah, perfect. 10 a.m., perfect. Okay, that actually works. Now, and the next time to book. 4 p.m., perfect, Waverly. Awesome. What's everyone else's, by the way? Thursday right now, you call someone up, you book an appointment, they're ready to go. Today at 4 p.m. Eastern, there we go. Today, 4 p.m., 4:39 today. Mike Jones with the exact timing on there. Tomorrow morning, perfect. What time tomorrow morning, Stephanie? So the biggest thing on here, 9 a.m., perfect. Okay. So my biggest thing, now I'm going to go the opposite. That's the earliest time, right? What's the latest time they can book? Thursday right now, can they book for next Thursday? Like how far out is the latest time someone can book now? We've done the earliest times people can book, which those are all passing. 72 hours. Perfect. Oh, you guys are great. Okay. Emmett, yeah, no, next week. 72-hour business. Gotcha. Okay, Sean, perfect. Makes sense. 2 days. 48 hours. Latest time is tomorrow. Yes. Okay, so you got to understand what the hot stove method does. It have a limit? So and Paul, we're not going to sing you out or anything else. The one thing I would challenge you about the hot stove method is that most of you nailed this, by the way. Thursday, and then some of you can book later this afternoon, right? And then a lot of you have Friday. So if we book the appointment now, if people book on Friday, then they could do 9, 10 a.m. and so forth, and they can book tomorrow, by the way. I don't know about you guys in show rates, but anytime after lunch on Friday, my show rates my no-show rates skyrocket. So I usually don't take afternoon unless I talk to them that day or the day before. But like if I talk to them on Wednesday, I usually don't allow them to book on Friday afternoon because someone will always have something. Technically, can book anytime. Yes, 72 hours. Perfect, Carlos. There we go. The reason why is because even on the Thursday we're at now, you have Saturday and Sunday right here. And then, of course, I see that some people will do Mondays and so forth and get them booked here. But I wouldn't want it much further than this. I try doing within 48 hours is my goal. And if Saturdays and Sundays block off, you can block them off. If you work Saturday, Sundays, great, knock that out. Um, but then Monday, but don't allow it to book off because here's the thing. Most of you have cooked something on a stove, and that pan can get very hot. But once the fire's off and everything else, that stove, that hot stove, actually goes pretty cold pretty fast, right? Like you can pick up a stove within, I'm just going to guess minutes, right? I don't know the exact timing. I did it at one point. I think it was within 7 minutes that thing you can pick up. It's still warm, but an hour later it's cold. And so the biggest thing on here is that I do want you, which I did list, 24 to 48 hours. I want you booking that so you can do that as fast as possible, right? So it even says on here, the longer between those calls, you have to engage in with some. So now let's give an example really quick. So I'm going to clear the drawing. We are on Thursday right now. So let me give you something. If you are doing Thursday and they book for Monday on here, yes, keep dropping this stuff in, Jason. I see that. I'll get to it. They get Monday and Thursday. The biggest thing between Thursday and Monday, because there's a weekend as well, you have to give them some sort of asset or what we call like a sales assignment or homework, right? You have to give them, and I'll use the frame that we use for homework. Give them homework so that they engage between there and they're excited for your Monday session if it's booked for Monday. And so the one thing I like to say is, hey, when's the last time you got homework? Was it college or high school or doctorate degree? Right? And this is for dentists, by the way. So I knew that they were, in medical school and everything else. When's the last time you got homework? And like, oh, it's been years. I was like, well, I'm actually giving you homework right now. So guess what? School's in session, right? And they're like, what? Like, I'm a playful guy, as you can probably tell a little bit, right? It'll come out later as well. Is I'm very playful with this. I'm like, well, I'm giving you homework. I need you to do this and report back and send it. You can do it today, tomorrow, because it's Thursday, right? Friday. If you do it on the weekend, that's totally fine. Send it over. But by Monday morning, I want to know that you're serious and you're going to go put in the work. And guess what? The homework assignment, by the way, is less than a page of anything. It's very easy for them to do, but it shows engagement. So if you are booking longer than 24 to 48 hours, even if you're booking 24 to 48, make sure they go through this. Now, let me give you one more example, and then Jason, I'll jump into the chat with what you dropped in there. If they are booking on Friday, I usually ask, hey, do you have 3 minutes between now and our call on Friday to watch a 2 minute to 5 minute video? Right? And I get that confirmation on the call. Yeah, I can watch it. Okay, I will send it over right after this call. I need you to watch that and just reply back to the email with the question that I want you to ask from that video. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll find out in the video, but that will also show me that you watched the video. Is that fair? Yeah, cool. I can go watch the video. Cool. I'll send it over. We'll get it going. And that question from me is just like, what's the biggest thing you're looking to get out of working with us? Because we show them like our little plan on there for what we do and like what's the biggest thing that like you're looking to get out of this. Cool. So that's what we do. If we usually do a video if it's within 24 hours and it's only a 2 to 5 minute video. Is everyone good with this? If so, just drop good in the chat. And then Jason, I'm going to read this. I know it's about to scroll up in just a second, but I'll come this as well. We provide leave behind webinars. I try to book after they have a chance to watch it, usually after weekend. Bad idea. It's like she said good, but I actually said good. The biggest thing, so let me talk a little bit deeper about this. And great question, by the way. So everyone bring your questions and so forth, right? That's a really good question. So Jason, let's take a moment here and just talk through that just for a second. When you're going through and you're doing leave behinds and webinars and everything else, and you try booking afterwards, just make sure that it's something that they're going to engage with. So if you have different webinars, find out which one creates the most engagement for them to watch. Usually, if it's not live, I don't do a longer webinar. I might actually, everyone has different opinions of webinars, and that's a-okay. The ultimate goal of a webinar is for them to change their belief and take action. So if it is more of a recorded webinar or so forth, I usually like to make that about like a 25 to 30-minute webinar. But I also want to have some sort of asset that goes along with it for them to do with it. Um, and it could even be they do the ask and they can book a time with you. But like it is a good idea if it creates engagement. But if it's a leave behind to like wait to book and everything else, I don't like to add complexity to a simple equation. But if that's what you need to do that, and I'd love to talk through that as well. So I think answer my question. Okay, good. Anything else? Please bring it up. Like, hey, that's good, but a deeper question on here. Okay, so everyone's good. Okay, so let's keep pushing through. I purposely, by the way, and you guys will understand my stuff on here. I usually put the most important part up front and spend the most time here. The second half of the rest of this will go by faster. So it's not like, oh, another section for another 20 minutes. The next part is going to go a little bit faster as we go through this and even give you guys some homework on this call. You guys like, oh, I get homework now? Yeah, you fell for the trap. You're getting homework. So this is the stuff that I really want to dive home. Everyone's good. Let's knock it out. If you're not good, please drop in the chat so we can help you out and knock this. Now let's go through the framework. And you will get this in, you will get access to this document. So don't feel like you have to write down every word and go through this. And I'll actually zoom back out just a little bit, just so it all shows up. Okay, if this is too small for anyone to say zoom in, please, and I'll definitely listen. In the chat, I'll just say this out. I'll drop this in the chat for you. Are you self-booking for yourself? Are you booking for someone else? Like, are you a setter for somebody else and then you have a closer? Are you self? And by the way, I joke on with you guys. If you drop in self, you are still a closer, by the way, right? So I'm not saying just because you're self and anything else. Both setter. Okay, we got a good mix up here. The reason why I want to know this, booking for a closer, is I'm going to make sure that we cover both parts thing for you. Self, self. There we go. To make sure that we personalize this for each style as well. If you're doing this for yourself or you're doing it for closer, so you can set this up as well. Perfect. And can I just give you guys one tip? If you're doing it for yourself, kudos, keep crushing it and everything else. But when you get someone to book on your behalf and so forth, they get to ask a little bit more deeper questions to set you up better with context. And so it does help when you can hire a setter and so forth at some point in your stage and everything else. If you ever can, it's probably one of the coolest thing to have happen just to set you up with more success. And I'll show you that little secret in just a second as well. Okay. Booking for closer self. Okay, good. We got a good mix here. Okay, so the biggest thing is that when you connect with people, and this, I'm going to go a little bit faster, so stop me at any point. You can see we got 6 steps here. So if you're asking a question about any of the steps, just drop the number in there and we can go from there as well. The move that you want to do is just give context up front. Hey, we connected about insert whatever you're connecting about. You inquired about is another way you can do this. Or you were referred by so and so, right? So and so actually put a name. Don't put so and so, right? Someone tried being cheeky with me one time. But you have to give context at the conversation so that they can acknowledge and nod their head versus be like, who the freak are you? This is probably the most important part to get them to move forward so that they understand why they're reaching out. Now, of course, and we've talked about this before, and we'll probably talk about it in future sessions as well. The faster you receive an inquiry from a form fill or a lead or an ad or so forth, the faster you respond, the faster they remember. I don't know about you guys, but if you guys sent a text message yesterday, you probably don't remember when you sent it or who it was to and so forth because you've probably done so much in between. They have as well, and they might not remember. So the other aspect of this is that if the context is thin right here, just understand, is there a real connection, lead source, association, shared market, right? Like, how do you know this on here? And then this is the other thing, right? If you don't remember, all good. I'm sure people reach out to you all the time. Is a phrase like this, and please put in your own words. And so now I'm going to drop in the chat, and I want to understand this really quick. When it comes to context, how many of you come with like low to no, known? I'm just going to put none for context versus high context. How much context are you guys going into the call with? Because this is going to help shape the rest of the session as well for like the actual framework. Drop that in the chat. How much context do you have on the person that you're calling up front? Jason said high context. There we go. Lisa said high context. Yeah, context is just like the reason why you're connected with them and so forth. Like, how much do you know about them? Yeah. So Pauline and Paul, right? Yeah. Pauline and Paul, that's pretty cool that you're back to back. It's just the context about like, do they know why you're calling them? Or do they have an understanding why you're calling them and so forth? The context behind that versus I got a random call from a random number that I don't know who this is, right? And then people that are dropping in hi, can you give us like one sentence of the context you're getting? Okay, Pauline, you're hi. There we go. Hi in terms of context, right? Just want to make sure we clarify that. Give some more context to that as well. Yeah, Paul. Okay, Facebook ad, they clicked on it. So it hope so. Yeah, perfect. That is very high context, by the way. Inbound ads is very high context. If you were doing Facebook ads, just give everyone and then call us to come back to yours as well. Well, let's just do it really quick. Our leads are oftentimes have at least fill out. That's context right there. Hey, I saw you fill out the application, and then you jump into the fit check, right? Which I'm going to do for the application and Paul's thing that they did. Weekly financial newsletter. Perfect, Stephanie. Freaking awesome. Opt in via Facebook ads. Hey, I saw that you opted in the Facebook ads for this purpose or this angle. Is that correct? What are you hoping? And then ask the fit check. What are you hoping to get out of this? So it's a question, right? Here's what you're trying to do, right? What are you hoping to get out of by reaching out to us and connecting with us, right? You have to ask those questions on there. You're not telling them anything of the goals. This is your time to ask about their situation, their business. You're not delivering information at the fit check. So, hey, I saw that you filled out an application regarding this. What are you hoping to get out of this? You have to have some sort of question that allows them to talk right away, is the ultimate goal. Is everyone okay with this? We good? Contact, initiate, provide info. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so you guys are getting inbound. This is awesome. Kudos for getting inbound, by the way. The people are getting inbound on here. That's awesome. The Optimed weekly financial letter. The biggest thing, Stephanie, on there is like, hey, saw you opted in for my financial newsletter. What was the article that you opted in from? Right? Yes, there we go. How are you enjoying the financial education I'm providing in the newsletter? And then Stephanie, I would add one thing in there. Hey, is there something that you have a strong desire to cover that we might have covered yet or could have covered earlier that we haven't talked about yet? Because they might give you that next thing. Yes, when they actually open the email. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Rock stars, by the way. So let's keep pushing forward then. Then you hit them with the value hook. So you have the context, you have the capacity question that gets them to talk about their business or their situation, right? You give them that time and space up front to set that so you can understand that. Then you have to transition with the value hook about what are you exactly offering on here. Now, the key point, and I have this in terms of best practice right here, don't over deliver here. Still keep it back. This is the trailer to your movie. This is the trailer to your sales call. We have a proven process that helps. What is it that you're helping them with? Get what result within what time frame? Plant the curiosity. This is not a pitch. You are not pitching here. You're not getting a sale on this call. Is everyone okay with this? Two, is the capacity to talk. Is this the capacity to talk at this moment? So, Paul, help me out really quick. I'm going to use yours from above. They clicked on an ad, right? What's the one thing? Why did they click on the ad? And what question can you ask just to confirm that they clicked on the right ad for you? Is more the fit check from what I'm trying to express here on the fit check. So, capacity is kind of like a capacity of more jobs or so forth, right? Is the one that we use as an example. I'm not saying that has to be yours, but if you go through this, like, what's the biggest thing that they're trying to do with you so that you get an understanding of how to work with them? It's probably the biggest thing. If you drop in the industry that you work in, I could probably drop more insights for you as well. Medicare. Okay, perfect. So, hey, saw you fill out regarding Medicare. And then what's the question you can ask right then there that help them to engage right there? Like, hey, what are you looking to do with Medicare? Are you signing up for the first time? Are you trying to renew? Like, basically, what are they trying to do when it comes to that? Real estate Medicare. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's a little bit of sub niche on there. Were you able to download my Medicare roadmap? Perfect, right? Or, hey, have you download this? Now it depends if they just came in as an ad and you're calling within 5 minutes, confirm that they've done that. If you're calling later than 15 minutes, hey, have you already started jumping into the Medicare roadmap? What have you liked so far? Is more of a fit check on there. I don't know what ADO is. Sorry, Lisa. Help me out with that one right there. I'm not big into acronyms, by the way, for the record, and marketers are famous for them. Oh, diabetes. Okay, perfect. Right. In terms of what you're doing with them. Okay. So as you go through this, right, you have to have that fit check for the clarity about the reasons why you're reaching out so that they know, like, oh, you're reaching out at the right time. This is what I'm looking for. This is great. Now, on the value hook side of this, right? This is where you give them like just the transition that basically helping them understand that you have the value that they're looking for. This is setting you up for the sales call. You're not pitching or anything else, which we talked about. Don't over deliver here because then there's no reason to take the next call and you just leave this gap wide open, right? But the biggest thing is then ask for the appointment. Hey, would you be open either later today or tomorrow is my favorite phrase that I like to use to chat. Now, it depends on how professional you need to be, and everyone can change that on there. So be as professional as you need to be. I'm very much more casual in my approach to see exactly how this works. Instead of exactly how this works, I usually put in what the system or what the process is up here, the specific result. So I usually take the specific route and put where this works, and then ask while curiosity is fresh. Would you be open so I can show you exactly how our implant system works for dentists like you that are doing over 100 implant cases per year? Right? So you gotta frame it as valuable on there, right? Worst case, they walk with insights. And so, like, if you get into that, that's how you handle objections, right? Just remove the pressure, make it an easy yes for them to move forward. So don't make your call like, hey, we gotta jump on a 60-minute. You have to give me your social security. You don't know who I am. Like, don't do anything like that. Don't be weird about that unless that's the route you have to take. But then just make sure it's easy for them to say yes. Is everyone okay with that so far? We're good? The biggest thing, right? A lot of people, from what I've seen on this call so far, we confirm the best email, but we should also we're going to send an event reminder on there as well, right? So like to make sure that our calendar invite for them to join that call. Watch if they have the Yahoos or the AOL emails and so forth. Sometimes those are not connected to a calendar, so you have to watch for that as well. It's one thing I've noticed. You should have some sort of Calendly or something that works for you that gets them to where they can add it to a calendar because sometimes that won't work for the emails that they have if they have the MSN emails or the Hotmails and so forth, right? Which are still popular and still out there. So just watch for that, by the way, if you're doing that, but you still want to send some value and also get their phone number and confirm the phone number that you are supposed to be calling. So, like if you called a personal phone, hey, is this a good number? The one ending in and give the last four digits for them. And then if you get this far and everything's going great, the way that you're going to build the most value in the call is to pre-sell the call from right here. Can I ask you a couple more questions just to make sure that we get the most valuable aspects out of this on Friday, right? Or later today? Can I ask a couple more questions just to make sure that this is a good fit? And then if you can restate, which is closing the loop. So what I'm hearing from you is that you're looking for this, this, and that. We are absolutely 100% going to cover that on call. So I'm super excited because I'll make sure to provide that value and get that for you and have that stuff, right? So always confirm this. Always confirm those different things. Nowadays, I also confirm if I can text as well. Hey, can I text you over a link to our whatever the lead magnet is or the asset that you're providing? Can I just send that over to you so you can view it on your phone? Or would you rather me send it to your email? Usually, like, oh, just text it to me. That's fine. And then, boom, we're texting. We're good on there. And then the last part, exit with the value and everything else. Ask a little bit deeper, Lisa, on the how, and then I'll help explain that because I will stop here in a second. I'll drop in the stuff as well. Recap date and time that you're going with. Make sure you have that. Tell them what to expect, which we talked about at the very beginning, and remind them why it's worth their time. So this is the biggest thing is like as you're doing the exit and so forth, first line appointment is just this is what's actually going to protect you for them showing up. If they have better expectations, if they're just not walking in cold or blind to that meeting. Hey, when we jump on this call, our Zoom meeting or whatever you guys do to meet with them, right? This is what we're going to be doing. Super excited to be able to help you out and move forward from there. So I don't know what accelerates on there, but like if you can text, I usually like the text because I notice that people get emails, but they're buried in like they have like over 1,000 unread emails, but in their text message thread, it'll always pop up and people will have that pop up with the notifications on their phone. So usually they will respond better if I can go and text them versus getting their email, is usually what happens. So if you can, that's what I like to do. If you have any more questions on that, always feel free to, because we're about to take a moment to ask any questions on the six things. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Now, remember, you are getting access to the document. I'll make sure I give you a copy version of this. But the biggest thing is now I want you to go fill in what is your appointment setting script. So I want you to go build this in. So I'm going to drop this in the chat. Hopefully, I'm going to make sure I'm going to give it a little bit of time. Ask your questions right now. This is perfect time to ask questions. I'm going to drop this in the chat. for you. And I want you to have an appointment setting script. I actually lay this out and dial it in. Okay, formatting moved over, so this is great. There is your appointment setting script. You will get access to this document as well, so you can make a copy. But go and take the time now to go and do that. I'll give you one more piece of insights. We'll do a recap, and then we'll be done for today, right? We will stay on to help with any other questions that you have, but definitely feel free to do this. So I want you to go use this appointment setting script, personalize it, make it your own. Make sure you cover these 6 elements that we have here. There is a 5A if you can add qualifying questions, definitely do that, but get that in there. Examples of good assets. Star, let's do this for you. Examples of good assets. What's the industry again? If you can drop that in, you probably dropped above, but like drop in your industry or niche. If you could drop that in for us, right, that will definitely help us out. And then we'll talk through some different ones for you of just who you're serving. But that's a great question. I definitely want to talk about that. So I won't do anything else where like people blow up the chats. We'll leave it open for questions. And then we can definitely help you out. If anyone else wants to know assets for their industry, drop in like, hey, what are good assets for this industry? And then we can cover those as well. Okay. So the move for today is to build out your appointment setting script. Then what you want to do is have the 2 times close, which by the way, for the record, a lot of you are doing really good at booking within 48 hours, 72 hours, 72 business hours, right? You're not going too far out. You want to keep that short, right? Stop sending calendar links that they can just book random times. I want you to fill it out for them on your behalf. Go incognito on your browser, right? Type in their information. Hey, what's the best email to send this to? Phone number for texting, right? The link is just going to create friction, and it's an easy exit for them not book. They're going to get, oh, I don't know what time works for me and anything else. Hey, let's just get a time on the calendar. If that doesn't work for you, we can of course reschedule, but let's just set a time for later today at 4 p.m. that works well for you, and we'll take it from there. If you get self bookings, which I don't think I have listed here. Oh, yeah, okay, I do. If they do self bookings, I still want you to call them and go through a very modified version of this. Hey, I saw that you self booked, right? And you connected on there. Wanted to confirm that we're able to help you out with XYZ, right? Because our process is this from the reason why you booked, and you're still good for 15 minutes at 4 p.m. today or tomorrow, whatever it may be. Still do that for the self booked. And the reason why is we see people that get self bookings and then they get no-showed, but they never confirmed if it was actually a good lead. Was it real information they got, or was it fake information? So something to think about. Sorry, your marketing agency? That's what's up. I got you. Okay. I'll definitely be able to help you out with that. Okay. So we go through that, we knock that out for you, right? And then my personal favorite, so I say this, offer 2 times. Hey, how does 1 p.m. today or 3 p.m. tomorrow work? I like one for today and one for tomorrow. You could even do one for this afternoon and one for tomorrow morning to give them options, right? Make sure if you're calling a different time zone that you use their time zone. Don't make them do what I call time zone math. So if you're on East Coast calling Pacific time, don't use, oh, how does 4 p.m. Eastern work? Most people that like in their areas that aren't calling people nationwide aren't going to know the math to do and so forth. They're only going to know their time and everything else. So don't make them do time zone math if you can. My favorite is, hey, can we do later today at 4 p.m.? Right? And I make sure it's in their time zone and everything else, if not past their time, because I know we're getting close for East Coast, like it's a faster turnaround time. Um, Dentist, by the way, is one of those. I always say, "Hey, what's the end of your schedule today look like?" Right when it comes to patients, do you want to book a time 15 minutes afterwards, just give you a little break? And usually they're like, "Yeah, let's do that." Or it's during their lunchtime. Is the top 2 times I book dentist all day long, right? And so that's the different thing to do there. Let's get their phone number, put it on the calendar yourself. So this is what I said about stop sending calendar links. Book it yourself, and then the reminder sequences, if you have them set up, which you should fire off to make sure that they remind 24 hours out, an hour before, and so forth, so we can get this. And if you're sending reminders and so forth, it helps you with show up rates to get them in there. Book within 24 hours when you can, so you can get that dialed in. That would be really good to have. Let me do one more thing just really quick. Okay. So when we got this, we're good. Further out appointments, lower show rates, yes, self-booking. Okay, we're good. Okay, one last thing. When it comes to the recap, so we're going to jump into questions. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. There's no such thing as a cold call. It's only called it where you haven't found the context yet. So when you reach out to everyone else, get the context that would make sense for them to book an appointment. I don't want you booking cold appointments that have no context about why they're booking the appointment or what they're expecting an appointment. So don't leave them cold or anything else. 2 times, not a calendar link, book within 24 hours, which we just talked about. If you have this, and I'll copy this link for you. copy link URL. I'll drop this in. This is the intake form. If you are new from today, which there's a couple people, right? New, if you haven't done it from Tuesday, go to this form, make sure to fill this out so we get that intake from you as well, and then drop it in. If you have any scripts, you right, drop those in. We'll also be doing some calls. We'll be doing live cold calling next week as well, so that should be definitely there. Alex will be back with you guys on Tuesday and the Wave team as well for getting this. But any questions we can help you out with, now is your time. We got a couple minutes before the top of the hour. I want to respect everyone's time. So if you do have to jump, you can jump at any time if you have any questions. If you're good, right, just drop in like your takeaway from today and then, feel free to jump, right? From now, but I'm going to leave it open for a couple more minutes just to ask any questions. I'm not going to start with stars because it's in there. Make sure you fill out the intake. And here's the thing, you guys have Thursday and you have Friday, go and crush it. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. But the biggest thing I could share with you guys is, and you should already know this, but like on Thursday and on Friday, is even Friday afternoons are still a great time to call people and get those things booked before the end of their week, right? So don't ever feel, whenever we do like a live prospecting on demand event, we do our calling sessions and our challenges on Friday afternoons, East Coast time, right? And guess what? We're booking tons of appointments. I think our last event, I can go back and see. I think we had like 40 people there. I think they booked over 62 appointments in like an hour sprint, right? And so we got 62 appointments, and then we said, hey, off those appointments, drop in what happened and so forth, and they were able to drop stuff in. So that helps out a lot. Is everyone cool? If you were good and everything else, drop it in, drop in your takeaway in the chat. I see Star, so I'm going to help out Star right now. And any other questions you have, feel free to drop it in there, and we can help you out. Now, Star, can I actually bring you up as a panelist? Are you okay with that? I'm going to offer that. If it works, great. If not, the replay from today. If we can, I believe we can. All right, so Star, I'm going to get you allowed to. I'm just going to pull you up as a panelist. Promote to panelist. And then Cassie and Haley, if you can talk with Kaden Malia about that for that. All right, Star. First off, welcome, by the way.
Hi.
Hey, for the record, this will be the only call that we don't bring people up like at the beginning and stuff. Usually I bring up like 3 to 4 panelists at a time and round robin pull them through. Star, who do you serve? What's the industry that you focus on?
So I've mainly been selling SaaS to coaches because I have been business coaching. So I'm trying to
Hmm.
transition and get more clients with local business owners. So this is more of a newer space that I've been kind of putting off for about a year now. I have been calling beauty salons because I used to own a brick and mortar hair company. So I've
Smart.
been calling them with a lot of success in terms of them agreeing to the call, but literally like none of them are coming to the call. So and I know they can't invest a lot, and I'm just selling $100 offer to them for review management. So maybe I need to target, home services, and I don't know.
So I'll give you two different angles that you can do with this, right? On the beauty salon, it's great that you come from that background. So it's like, oh, you're one of us. You understand what we're going through, right? Versus some random person who's never picked up a hammer or anything else in roofing, right? For that stuff, right? And I'm talking about myself, by the way, because they're like, have you ever been on a roof before? I'm like, whoa, calm down, Tiger. I know how to run ads. But in that industry and so forth, a couple things that you might want to think about, and I'm just going to go a little bit deeper with you on this, is more of your offer of, hey, we'll get you 5 reviews for free upfront. And then after that, we'll show you what our system can do and do XYZ. It gets you access and it gets it easier to do this. And you can run like a DBR campaign for the last 10 customers, right? And out of those 10, maybe 5 will fill out a review, right? So you can offer something like that and then says, hey, for every person that comes through, we'll also send them this and get you more reviews. And guess what? It's only $100. You're not going to find a better offer than that. What you are going to send to them is a customer experience process and a quick 2 to 3 minute video of what that process looks like. So you take a website, you can build that example website, or take one of the clients that you have for this, right? And you go and you says, great, now that they have the website, here's a place where we leave the review. Or once that customer is done, an hour after their appointment with us, right? Like after they finish their appointment, we're going to text them a link to go fill out a review. And this is their whole process. If you already have it set up, which guess what? I know they're not going to have it set up. That's great. Then you're doing a great job. If you don't have the setup, we can do it for you and help you out with every single person that comes through your salon, through your this, through your that, right? You want to do a video to show them what the process looks like so they can be like, oh, I get what you're going to do for us. Yeah, we need that. Is that fair?
Okay, so I would just record like a very short video showing them my screen and examples of what the review requests would look like.
Yep, absolutely. And the other thing you would also want to do if your system can do this as well is make sure that you can also set it to where you also reply to the reviews on their behalf. You know what I mean? Quick, simple, short. And so it's like, hey,
Yes,
once you get a
we do
review,
that. Hmm.
but that's also a big selling point that they don't realize that you're going to do. Okay, you got us the review, but now you're going to make us go respond to every review. No, no, we'll do that for you. Hands off, we got this for you. Sit back, relax, keep doing what you're great at, and we're going to do what we're great as well. And we're going to create a great team on here. Cool?
Okay, so what you're saying is if I do book a call, my asset would be that video. I send that to them before the call and then, okay, got it.
Yeah. Because now what you're going to do is you're going to personalize it for them. Hey, what system do you use for bookings and so forth? Because you can probably build an integration or you can find some way of like Zap and so forth. I know we're talking technical for a second here, but you basically can find out like, okay, yeah, our system's going to work really well with your system. And as you find out the different systems that they use for their salons and so forth, right? And you find out how you can connect or import or Zapier and so forth, right? It's game
Mhm.
over. Okay, yeah, our system works perfect for your stuff. As soon as this happens, and someone's booked and you confirm that they show up to the appointment right on your system, then it's going to put a delay of 2 hours because an hour for the appointment, an hour afterwards, and then guess what, we're good to go, we're going to knock this out. And then once they see that, they go, okay, this is great. And what's the also best part, Star, about like with what you're doing, you get them in on review management, you're able then to step back and be like, well, what other services can I offer to them? So that's a really great intro offer that you can do for people. Is that cool?
Yes, thank you. And then
Sweet.
you said
Absolutely.
you were going to mention a second option that I could try.
It's just a matter of like some little like pamphlet or something that's very simple, but like your process laid out. I personally like videos way better for people to watch and engage with. Also, make sure it's easy to watch on a phone. So if they're watching it sideways or so forth, that everything's a lot bigger than it usually would be. So it's not like, wait, what's happening? They're like having a squint, right? Even if they don't have glasses like me. But make it easy. But the other one you can do is just a one page about what does the system look like? What does it do? And more of a graphic format. So there's just two ways to do this. And we've seen it on social media where people do videos and some people do static images, right? You can test both out, but I feel like video for what you're doing is going to be easier for people to understand and consume. And guess what? They're also going to hear how you are and be like, oh, I'd like to talk to Star. She sounds nice. You know what I mean? Versus,
Yeah.
and you'll have the energy and everything else. So like, okay, yeah, she definitely knows what she's doing. Versus like an image of like, okay, well, okay, who's Star? What's about? Like, there's a little mystery behind it, which isn't bad, but it also just doesn't check some boxes off in their head. Like, I can't wait to talk with her about this system. That's awesome.
Yes, this is
Cool.
a great idea because a few of them did ask if I was a scammer. Like they liked what I was saying, but I dropped like my financial wins and they were very interested. But then at the end, it's like, well, how do we know this? So I'll try it.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And report back on how well it goes. Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for jumping on. All right. Is anyone else have any questions? Let us know. All right. I think I can do this. Star, I'm going to put you back there. You should be good. Okay. Any other questions? If everyone's good, just drop a good in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to ask that. We are good for today. Next session is on Tuesday at the same start time as today. Next Tuesday, we want you to crush it today, tomorrow, this weekend, and so forth. If you're good, drop a good. There we go. Stephanie, you're good. If you have any questions, feel free. Amy, you're good. Awesome. Cool. And now always turn it back to the Wave team. Cassie, Haley, Caden are the Wave team. Are we good? By the way, I'm more of
Yep.
a not rush out the door. There we go. Sweet. Alrighty. We're good for today's session. If anything else, let us know. If you have any feedback, definitely let the team know. We'll keep getting better, keep doing this, serving you better as well. And the next session and all sessions coming up, gonna keep playing full out for you. So thank you for your time. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you guys later.